Have you ever wondered why some people seem to transform their lives almost magically, while others struggle with the same old patterns? It all comes down to one fundamental truth: how you speak to yourself. So we're going to explore a powerful concept from my teachings that reveals why speaking to yourself correctly can spark profound change. The first thing to understand is that your thoughts are not just random flutters of the mind. They are powerful forces that shape your reality. Your brain is constantly sending out signals, and those signals are encoded with the energy and frequency of your thoughts. When you speak to yourself, whether it's out loud or in your mind, you are essentially communicating with your own subconscious. This is crucial because your subconscious mind is the part of you that drives your habits, your emotions, and even your reality. Imagine this: your subconscious mind is like a giant database that stores all of your experiences, beliefs, and memories. It's like a library filled with books about who you are, what you believe, and what you expect from life. When you start to speak to yourself with intention and clarity, you are essentially rewriting those books. You are updating your internal database with new, more empowering information. This process can create a significant shift in your life, but it requires understanding how to communicate effectively with yourself. Let's break this down further. Every thought you have carries a specific frequency and energy. When you speak to yourself, you're not just saying words, you're broadcasting a frequency into the quantum field. This field is where all possibilities exist. It's a realm where your desires, dreams, and goals reside, waiting for you to align with them. When you speak positively and with purpose, you are aligning your frequency with the potential you want to experience. Think of it this way: if your frequency is low, you're tuning into a different radio station compared to when your frequency is high. Low frequencies might attract negativity, stress, or lack, while high frequencies attract abundance, joy, and health. By speaking to yourself in a way that uplifts and empowers you, you're essentially tuning your radio dial to a station that broadcasts positive outcomes. But here's the catch: just having a positive thought isn't enough. You need to combine that thought with elevated emotion. Elevated emotions are feelings like gratitude, love, and joy. These emotions have a higher frequency and energy than negative emotions like fear or anger. When you speak to yourself from a place of gratitude or joy, you amplify the power of your thoughts. It's like turning up the volume on a powerful radio signal. The clearer and more intense your intention, combined with elevated emotion, the stronger your signal becomes. Let's dive into the concept of intention. Think of intention as setting a clear path for your thoughts and actions. When you want to make a change in your life, such as improving your health or attracting a new opportunity, it's crucial to have a clear and specific intention. Just like you would use a GPS to get to a particular place, setting a precise intention helps guide your thoughts and energy toward your desired outcome. Imagine you're planning a trip and you need to enter your destination into a GPS. The more specific and accurate you are with the address or coordinates, the better the GPS can guide you to your destination. If you just enter a general area, like city center, you might end up somewhere that isn't exactly where you want to be. But if you enter the exact address, you'll get precise directions. This concept works the same way with intention. When you set an intention, you're essentially choosing your destination in life. If you're vague about what you want, your thoughts and actions can become scattered. But if you're specific and clear about your intention, it's like setting a detailed GPS path. This clarity helps you focus your energy and direct your efforts more effectively. Let's say you want to improve your health. Instead of just saying, "I want to be healthier," you could set a clear intention like, "I want to exercise for 30 minutes every day and eat more vegetables." This specific intention provides you with a clear direction. It helps you focus on the actions you need to take to reach your goal. When your intention is clear, you know exactly what steps to take and can more easily align your thoughts and energy with your goal. The same principle applies if you're looking to attract a new opportunity. Instead of saying, "I want a new job," you could be more specific. "I want a job where I can use my skills in design and work in a creative environment." This precise intention helps you visualize and focus on exactly what you're looking for. It also helps you direct your energy toward finding and creating opportunities that match this specific goal. Having a clear intention doesn't just help you set goals, it also influences your thoughts and behaviors. When your intention is clear, your mind becomes more focused and aligned with your goal. This clarity makes it easier to recognize opportunities and take actions that support your intention. For example, if your intention is to find a job in a creative field, you might start looking for job listings related to design or networking with people in that industry. Your clear intention helps you see and act on opportunities that align with your goal. Setting a specific intention also helps you stay motivated and persistent. When you have a clear goal in mind, it's easier to stay focused on what you need to do to achieve it. If you encounter obstacles or setbacks, a clear intention helps you stay committed. You know exactly why you're putting in the effort and what you're working toward. This motivation can help you push through challenges and continue moving forward. But it doesn't stop there. Once you've set your intention, you must also engage your emotions. The emotional energy you generate with your thoughts sends a powerful signal into the quantum field. If you're feeling excited and passionate about your goal, you're creating a strong, coherent signal. If you're feeling doubtful or fearful, your signal becomes weak and fragmented. The quantum field responds to the strength and clarity of your signal, so it's crucial to maintain a positive emotional state. Let's go through a practical exercise together. Suppose you want to manifest a new home. Here's a step-by-step guide to help you visualize and attract that new home into your life. First, start by picturing your ideal home. Begin by imagining the outside of the house. What color is it? Is it a bright, cheerful yellow or a soothing, elegant white? Visualize the texture of the walls and the style of the architecture. Is it a cozy cottage or a modern, sleek design? Picture the yard or garden. Are there blooming flowers, a well-kept lawn, or perhaps a lovely patio where you can sit and relax? Now, move inside the house. Imagine the layout of the rooms. How many bedrooms are there? Is there a large, open kitchen with plenty of space for cooking? Visualize the living room where you might entertain guests. What kind of furniture is there? Are there big windows letting in lots of natural light? Picture the colors of the walls and the types of decorations you'd like. Are there cozy rugs, beautiful artwork, or stylish curtains? Think about the details of each room. Imagine walking into the kitchen. What appliances do you see? Are there shiny new ones or classic designs? Picture yourself making your favorite meal and enjoying it with loved ones. In the living room, imagine sitting on a comfy couch, maybe with a cup of tea or coffee, and enjoying the view through the windows. Picture yourself reading a book or watching TV, feeling completely at home and content. As you create this mental image, let yourself feel the excitement and joy of living in this home. Imagine how wonderful it would be to wake up every morning in this beautiful house. Feel the happiness of having a space that is truly yours, where you can create lasting memories. Imagine celebrating special occasions, like birthdays or holidays, in this home. Picture the joy of having friends and family over, enjoying the space and making the most of every room. The key here is to make your visualization as vivid and detailed as possible. The more specific you are about the details of your ideal home, the stronger your mental image will be. The clearer you can picture it in your mind, the more powerful your intention becomes. This clarity helps you to send out a stronger signal to the universe about what you want to manifest. Feel the emotions that come with living in this ideal home. Let yourself experience the joy, comfort, and satisfaction of having the perfect space. These emotions are important because they add energy to your visualization. The more intense your feelings, the stronger your signal will be. When you really feel excited and happy about your vision, it becomes easier for you to align with it and attract it into your life. You can also write down your vision to make it even more powerful. Create a vision board with pictures of homes you admire, or write a detailed description of your ideal home. Add notes about how it feels to live there, the activities you enjoy, and how it changes your life. Place this vision board somewhere you can see it often, and review it regularly to keep your focus sharp and your emotions engaged. Write down your vision and look at it regularly. Place images of your dream home around you to keep your intention clear. This practice helps keep your conscious mind focused and your subconscious mind aligned with your goal. Over time, as you continue to reinforce this vision with positive emotions and clear intention, you start to shift your frequency and align with the reality you desire. However, it's important to remember that the process requires patience. Change doesn't happen overnight. It's like tending to a garden. You need to plant the seeds, water them, and take care of them consistently. You might not see immediate results, but trust that your efforts are working. Keep nurturing your vision with positive thoughts and emotions, and eventually you'll see the fruits of your labor. When you face setbacks or challenges, it's crucial to stay focused on your goals and keep your emotions positive. Life has a way of testing us, and these tests can sometimes feel like obstacles. However, each challenge you encounter is a chance to strengthen your commitment to what you want to achieve. Imagine you are working towards a big goal, like starting a new business or improving your health. You have a clear vision of what you want, and you've been putting in the effort to reach it. But then you hit a bump in the road. Maybe a project gets delayed, or you face an unexpected problem. It's easy to feel discouraged or frustrated. However, it's important not to let these setbacks shake your focus. Instead of letting a negative situation pull you away from your goal, acknowledge what's happening. Recognize the challenge for what it is, but don't let it define your progress or make you doubt yourself. It's natural to feel upset when things don't go as planned, but the key is to keep moving forward. When you encounter difficulties, remind yourself of your original intention and the positive vision you have for your future. Think about why you started this journey in the first place. Visualize the success you're working towards and how wonderful it will feel to achieve it. Use this vision to lift your spirits and keep your emotions high. For example, if you're trying to get fit and you miss a workout or face an injury, don't let it make you feel like you've failed. Instead, acknowledge the situation, but then focus on your ultimate goal of being healthy and strong. Remind yourself of the progress you've already made and the reasons you're working so hard. This positive focus will help you stay motivated and keep your emotions aligned with your goal. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to reinforce your commitment. It's a chance to prove to yourself that you're dedicated to your intention, no matter what obstacles come your way. Think of challenges as tests of your resolve. They're not there to stop you, but to help you grow stronger and more determined. If a setback makes you feel negative or stressed, that's okay. Just don't let those feelings take over. Instead, use them as a prompt to return to your positive mindset. Take a moment to breathe deeply, refocus, and reconnect with your goal. Remember that your emotions have a powerful impact on your progress. Staying positive and focused will help you overcome challenges more effectively and keep you on the path to success. When you face a setback, it might be helpful to create a plan for how you'll handle it. For instance, if you encounter a problem, break it down into smaller, manageable parts. Identify what you can do to address each part and make a plan for moving forward. This way, you'll feel more in control and less overwhelmed by the challenge. Your thoughts and emotions are powerful tools for creating your reality. By speaking to yourself with intention and combining it with elevated emotions, you're effectively broadcasting a clear and strong signal into the quantum field. This signal has the potential to align you with the reality you desire. Speaking to yourself correctly involves setting a clear intention and combining it with elevated emotions. Your thoughts carry a specific frequency and energy, which interact with the quantum field to shape your reality. By maintaining a positive and focused mindset, you align yourself with the potential you wish to manifest. Future. Now think about this. You're so connected to the energy of your future, you're no longer looking for it or waiting for it. You feel like it's already happened. The moment you get upset in traffic, the moment you start judging a coworker, you just disconnected from the energy of your future, and now you're back to the energy of your past. Now, if you tell me it was that person that did it to you, I'd say to you, oh, you're back to the unconscious program of being a victim again. So then, the person then goes, oh, when did I fall from that state? When did I lose it? Oh, it happened at 3 o'clock today. The next time that happens, what can I do differently? Now the person's moving through their challenges in their life with coherence, with rhythm. They're starting to begin to make strides, and they're no longer knee-jerking to the people in their life that they've used emotionally to reaffirm their identity. Now this is the work because you look around to see if anybody's doing it and you don't see anybody else doing it. It's kind of this lonely moment where you're realizing that I'm the only one doing this. That's that kind of moment that you realize that nobody understands you but you, right? And you can't even ask your friends for their opinion because they're going to give you their opinion based on their own experiences. And it's that kind of moment where you have to draw in all your resources. So, have you ever heard me say that emotions are bad? Have you? No, emotions are the end product of an experience. So then, do I react in my life? Yep, I do. But the question is, how long are you gonna react? That's the real question. Because if you keep that emotional reaction going on for an extended period of time, sooner or later it'll become your identity. And then people say, why are you so bitter? Why are you so frustrated? Why are you suffering so much? And your brain, in that emotion, you're in the emotion, which means you're in the chemical residue of the past, is going to call up the event because you're emotionally connected to it. And you're going to say, I'm this way because of that past experience. So then imagine what I do with people. We have people that have been abused. We have people that have been traumatized, that have been assaulted. We have people that have had very, very difficult pasts. And have you ever heard me say to revisit the event? Have you ever heard me say that? Never. We need to revisit the event because once you do, you open the box. But what we want to do is overcome the emotion because that's just what's lasting from the event. So you sit a person down, and the moment you sit them down, what do you think the body's going to do? It's going to look for something to recreate that emotion because that's the person's identity. Are you with me still? So if I make the person, if I inspire the person to sit there and they're sitting there and all of a sudden they're noticing that they're hot and they're irritated and their stomach is twisting and all of a sudden it's a group of sensations, a group of feelings that they have called all along frustration. But the different sensations, the moment you name it, it becomes an emotion. But what it is just bodily sensations. It's energy that's stuck in the body. So the body is looking to go back to the past. It's believing it's in the past. Are you with me still? So if the person becomes aware that their body is doing that, and like training an animal, allow the body to feel that emotion and then settle it down into the present moment. When you settle it down into the present moment, the body starts to trust the present moment and move out of the past. And there's a release of energy. Then the body goes, wait a second, what's going to happen in the next moment? And it starts doing that. And it starts to try anticipate the future. And you settle the body back down into the present moment. And every time you do that, you're telling the body it's no longer the mind, that you're the mind and your will is getting greater than the program. And all of a sudden, you start to lower the volume to that emotion. And when you begin to break the addiction to that emotion, the side effect of breaking that addiction is called joy. It's called freedom. All of a sudden, the body's saying, I don't want to be tormented anymore. Now, does that mean you shouldn't grieve over things that you lose? Grieving is a biological process. That's why you're saying it. So the subconscious is 95%. So more than likely, your body is going to do exactly what it's programmed to do. So what's the relevance of that? Well, people say, I want wealth, but they're programmed into being unworthy and lacking. So then as they begin to do the meditative work and they start opening their heart, I was just talking to someone yesterday. When you open the center, things are going to sift to the top. All the programs are going to come right up. And when they come up like that, you're going to see why it isn't manifesting in your life. Now, don't see it as like, why is this happening? Did I do something wrong? The subconscious is actually venting. There's a certain period of time in the early mornings where we vent our anxieties, we vent our fears. It's the way the subconscious goes, let's just have this dream and let's just get it over with. So the subconscious is saying, what if you hit the tree? What if you're actually going to hit the tree? You're going to hit the tree because that's exactly the imagery you have when you're trying to create something. You're saying, I really want this because I'm really afraid of dying. I'm really afraid of failure. I'm really afraid of rejection. So the person is subconsciously and unconsciously creating the imagery that's actually being revealed to them. So how do we change that? Well, really simple. We've got to start rehearsing a new way. We've got to start getting into those deep brainwave states, getting beyond the analytical mind, slowing our brainwaves down, getting into the operating system and start reprogramming. So when this happens, these are the things I'm going to do. These are the things I'm going to do to create that and start rehearsing those steps, priming and reprogramming the brain into a new outcome. So I have had that many, many years in my life, but I always have seen it as a strong sign, a strong symbol that I've got something switched in my brain. I could say that people say I want to be healthy. Yeah, it's 5% of your conscious mind, but you set them at the dinner table and they're breaking all the rules of everything they said. So why does that happen? Because the program is running and they've lost their free will to a program. So now that's important because your subconscious is talking to you. Now you've got to get in there. You've got to get in there and start rehearsing that you're going to step away from the table, that you're not going to eat after a certain hour, that you're going to make better choices and rehearse them and remember what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Now you begin to, on a fundamental level, begin to rewrite the script, begin to rewrite the program. And over time, if you make one or two new choices and restrain some old choices, you'll tend to make more better choices after you make a few because you'll start feeling the satisfaction of your efforts. I was altered in some way because I lost everything, and I haven't been able to change for the last 2 years. The fact that we can think about how we think, the fact that we can observe how we're acting, the fact that we can pay attention to how we're feeling means we can modify ourselves to do a better job in life. That's called metacognition. So when a person begins to wake up to who they're being, and then they say, like Gandalf on the bridge in Lord of the Rings, you may not pass today, that kind of decision becomes an experience for the person that they never forget. That kind of willingness to change is when they transmute those survival emotions into elevated emotions. And those emotions, because they're addictive and emotions are the record of the past, then for the most part, the body, as the unconscious mind, does not know the difference between an experience in your life that creates an emotion and an emotion that you can fabricate by thought alone. To the body, it's the same. So a person who's living in anger every day or sadness in every day, their body, as their unconscious mind, is believing it's in the same past conditions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The body's in the past. So when a person takes that emotion and literally denatures it and turns it into another emotion, the freedom from that addiction, breaking the chains from that emotional addiction is called self-love, is called joy. Now there's a liberation of energy. The person is in love with themselves, they're in love with their life, and they say, that was so worth it. And all of a sudden they look back at their past and they say, I would never change anything in my past because it brought me to this present moment. And when you can look back at your past that way, then the past rolls up to the present moment, and now you're beginning to experience true freedom. that certain people will not see possibility until they reach crisis, till they reach their lowest level, and then they're going to wake up and say, I better change. I think the greatest demonstration of change really is to begin to show others how to do it, to be the living example of it. That when you and I are the living example of joy, that when we are not attached to what people think or emotions that keep us feeling sick, and we are celebrating life and we are passionate about our future, that we are filled with ideas and inspiration, that's a very contagious state of being. And people that are lost in habits or lost in those emotional states, they will see it initially as an affront. It will be a confronting moment for them. But inside them, they secretly want to be free. They just don't know how to do it. So we always say in our workshops, you always know when someone is in the midst of change because they stop talking about it. They don't talk about it. They're too busy being it. So if you and I are waking up every morning and demonstrating change in our life, the people in our life have one of two choices. They either begin to become inspired by change for themselves, not because you're preaching to them philosophically, but because you're demonstrating it in your life. They'll either rise up to that, or the person cannot maintain a relationship with the person who's living in such freedom, which means they'll probably stay the same for the rest of their life. But if crisis happens, they may make another choice. So my recommendation for people who are steeped in habits and emotional states and patterns of thought, the individuals around them have to live in a state of joy. They have to live in a state of freedom. They have to demonstrate it in every single area of their life. And normally there's a thing in physics called entrainment, which means sooner or later, others start to vibrate at the same rate as you. If you look at this and you study it in history, it's a sign that something new has to be born. As the old model of reality begins to change, something else has to replace it. So we have two ways that we actually face crisis. We can either face crisis in a state of emergency, which in the beginning of a crisis is healthy, or we can face crisis in a state of creativity and innovation. If you're addressing a financial crisis or a crisis in a culture and everybody is selfish and everybody's living by those emotions, then they're pushing their way to get to the head of the line. They're competing. They're forcing outcomes. They're using very primitive systems to try to take care of themselves. We know from the physiology of the brain that most of the blood supply goes to the hindbrain and away from the forebrain. Those chemicals create a gap between the way things appear in our life and the way things really are. In other words, we're viewing reality in an altered state. We don't see possibility. We feel separate from each other. We are competing and striving to get to the head of the line by using our cunning, manipulative, egocentric ways to get there. And we're very controllable. Fear is very controllable. Competition is very controllable. Anger and war divides individuals. Now that is not a way to address a crisis, because the service to self, or taking care of the self, is the exact thing that enhances the crisis. Because if you and I are all doing the same, if we're all doing the same thing, then a culture becomes more divided. It becomes more disintegrated. It becomes more incoherent. And possibility then is not part of the equation. So the other state of mind, if you can view crisis as a great opportunity, brilliantly disguised as an impossible situation, and you have to match the conditions in your environment with a new mind. Now we're talking about greatness, because innovation and creativity and a new way of thinking and a new way of being means that we can't do the same thing from the past. And so in history, cultures that are individuals that overcame their environmental conditions were considered mystics and saints and leaders and charismatic leaders. They were individuals that saw past the illusion of the present reality. When we begin to become innovative or creative, the brain begins to switch. We begin to turn on the forebrain, the frontal lobe, which is really the crowning achievement of the human being, and we begin to ask bigger questions. How can we create a new way of being in a world that's falling apart? How can we begin to create a new system to adapt to these conditions? And I think that people, when they begin to feel empowered by possibility, when they begin to see that the death of the old paradigms means the beginning of a new paradigm, how many people actually believe in the idea that the way you think has some effect on your life? So how many people actually woke up this morning and consciously created a future? You know, the biggest reason why people don't do it is because you don't really believe it's true. You see, if you knew on a gut level that it was absolutely true, would you ever miss a day, and would you ever let any thought slip by your awareness that you didn't want to experience? So your brain, according to neuroscience, is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of your environment. It's a record, an artifact of your past. So if you believe this, then does your environment control your thinking, or does your thinking control your environment? So if you wake up in the morning and you get out of bed on the same exact side as you did the day before, you shut the alarm clock off with the same finger, you slip into your favorite slippers, you shuffle into the bathroom and you use the toilet like you always do, then you walk over to the mirror and you look at yourself to remember who you are, then you get into the shower and you wash yourself in the same routine way, then you groom yourself to look like everybody expects you to look, then you go downstairs and you drink coffee out of your favorite mug. Then you drive to work the same way as you did the day before. You see the same people that push the same emotional buttons. You do the exact thing that you know how to do, and you memorize and can do so well that you're an expert at. Then you hurry up and rush home so you can hurry up and check your emails, so you can hurry up and go to bed, so you can hurry up and do it all over again. Now here's my question. Did your brain change at all that day? We could say that you were thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions that create the same experiences, that produce the same emotions, but secretly expecting something to change in your life.